On this all-new episode of Nightlife, we bring you all the best dad strip coverage. From all the best action on the ice.
Whitecloud shot and score! It's goals in back-to-back games for Zach Whitecloud and a 2-0 lead.
Look at Tim Whitecloud, all smiles once again.
To all the best moments off of it.
This is Cam on Cam with Bob Haig. He's going to let us know how the father's trip is going so far.
Just amazing. Love being around these guys, love being around our sons. It's so much fun, and this is what it's all about.
Plus, we spin the trusty roulette wheel once again.
This is a team that won the Stanley Cup not far removed from what they had. And you don't want to mess with chemistry. There is a deep chemistry within this team, a bunch of guys that like each other. Sometimes you can ruffle the feathers if you try to do too much.
All of that and more this week on Nightlife.
Behind every NHL player stands a family. Moms and dads and siblings. The player provides talent and desire. Family brings sacrifice, love, and commitment. Someone has to tie up the skates, drive to the rink, buy the gear, provide encouragement, and dry the tears. Mark Stone may have lifted the Stanley Cup, but without his parents, Rob and Jackie, he never reaches that moment. Parents are the wellspring behind every NHL player. For Jack Eichel, the extended family of the Vegas Golden Knights is what made winning the Stanley Cup his favorite time in hockey. Coming out after the games and having so much family from so many of the guys waiting for us was the best. It was like we were little kids again, playing in a tournament, except this was for the Stanley Cup. It made us one big family. I loved it, says Jack. Last week, the Golden Knights were once again joined by their dads for the team's 5th Father's Trip. The dads are fun, lots of fun, and their laughs are contagious. The buses, planes, rinks, and hotel lobbies were raucous in St. Louis and Dallas, full of mirth, teasing, and chuckling. Bob Eichel is an older and more Boston version of his son Jack. Ben Hutton lights up every time his dad Jim shuffles into the room. The Cotters, 2 Pauls, and inseparable. Joe Pietrangelo still might have better hair than Alex. It's at least a draw. The Waz, Nick and Nick, tall and stoic. Misfits William Karlsson and Jonathan Marchessault branched out. William brought his father-in-law Scott Ferguson, and Jonathan, his brother-in-law, Nick Laguerre. The Howdens, Sheldon and Brett, everyone's favorite teammates. Kim McNabb, Andre Carrier, and Cam Theodore have been on every VGK dad strip. Dmitry Barbashev came all the way from Moscow. From Western Canada, trekked Tim Whitecloud, Chad Korzak, Kent Pahal, and Mark Thompson. Bob Haig and Kurt Stevenson are roadie roommates and late-night ringleaders. 5 dads tours in 7 seasons, and a sparkling record of 9-0-1 with the Pops in the barn. The kids love playing in front of their dads. Michael and Paul Amadio walked to the plane prior to the first leg of the journey, wondering how far they'd get. Father and son discussed whether about to arrive baby girl Scotty could delay her birth for the week they'd be away. She couldn't. Michael was summoned home and was back in Vegas with his wife Bronwyn in time to see their daughter enter this world. Someday they'll have a father's trip of their own, Scotty the player and Michael the dad. And it'll be a trip of a lifetime. Just ask the VGK dads and their sons.
Welcome into this brand new episode of Nightlife. This past week, the annual VGK Father's Trip took place. And boy, it did not disappoint. From dominant performances on the ice to the bonding off of the ice, the Father's Trip was a resounding success. While the Golden Knights were in St. Louis to take on the Blues, the VGK dads took a short trip over to the Anheuser-Busch factory to get a behind-the-scenes tour of how the classic beer is brewed.
Everything that Vegas does is such a top notch, but to get all the dads together and show something, historic about the city that we're in, really fantastic. The facility itself is amazing, so it was really enjoyable.
To keep this facility rolling, I didn't realize there was this much productivity going into making beers, and they have their own farms and their own glass company, their own aluminum company for cans. It's just incredible.
Went through the whole facility, so much to see, and the processing part where you're actually seeing the bottling happening. It sure is a huge area there where the bottling happens, where the bottles get washed, and there's so much to see.
The architecture of the 147 acres that this all sits on, the buildings are going all the way back to the 1800s, and the history that was told about the barns that were made and care for the Clydesdales.
The stables there, how every Clydesdale has his own stable, his name on it, and just the care that goes into the animals. And every harness is custom made to fit each horse. It's just pretty spectacular.
I've always had an interest in horses, being raised on a farm. So yeah, I knew a little bit about the horses, that they're bred specifically for their size and the color, their markings.
This doesn't get old. I've been on a few of these now, and to see the guys and the smiles and the laughs we have, and it's a lot of fun, I'm glad they do it, because this is one thing I look forward to every year.
Time for our first break on Nightlife. Coming up next, we flip the script a bit. Mr. Hutton takes the mic for a chance to interview Ben.
What traits do you get from me?
Your physique, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Your cardio.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
Your workout habits, I think, too, eh?
Yeah, eating and workout habits, and just big, jolly, happy guy,
Keep it locked, right here on Nightlife. Welcome back to Nightlife.
Cam Theodore here, talking to Andre Carrier about his thoughts of the father's trip so far.
Yeah, so far we have a good time, bunch of nice people, so I like it.
Yes.
Bottom line for me, this is like a dream come true. To be able to see your son play in the NHL, it's just incredible for me. So
this is Paul Cotter here, the man of the hour.
Right.
So,
yes.
Anything to say?
This is gonna help pay for your trip?
I think so. I think one of the things is yes, thank you very much. See, this is how we are. I think one of the things is how we're treated.
Vegas is a top-notch organization. I'm proud that my son's a part of it.
Super proud of my son and glad to be part of the Vegas organization.
Exactly the way I feel.
I'm really fortunate to be a part of it, so I love it.
Absolutely.
I soak up every second I can of it,
yeah.
As you know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is it my turn now to ask him a question?
Sure, yeah.
Underway tonight. White Cloud indeed scores! On a shot by Zach Whitecloud. Eichel picks it up. His wrist shot. Score! Further, Carlson near the front of the net. And Marchessault scores! How about this pass by William Carlson here? McNabb looking, lets it around. Kemp score! And it's King and Kolasar. Barbashev to Stevenson and a St. Pennington rebound score! Michael Amadio puts it home. And an empty net goal here from long range. That is a happy group. 6-3 win in St. Louis.
Welcome back to Nightlife. I must say, Cam Theodore is quite the natural with a mic in his hands. He wasn't the only dad who could have a future career in broadcasting. Ben Hutton's dad, Jim, got a chance to interview his son after practice, and the results were, well, awesome.
It's Jim Hutton, and I'm doing Credit one-on-one with, for the purpose of the interview, I'm going to call you Ben, Benjamin.
Call me Hud.
Hud?
Yeah, Hud.
Hud.
Hud, yeah.
Okay. Hud it is. Okay, son. Hud.
Yeah.
First question. What traits do you get from me?
Yeah, your physique, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Your cardio.
Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
Your workout habits, I think, too, eh?
Yeah, eating and workout habits, and just big, jolly, happy guy, So I try and get that off you, so.
All right. All right, appreciate that. That sounds good. That's a good one. Next question. Where do you get your sense of humor from?
I'm gonna have to also say you. I mean, mom's pretty good too, but
yeah, she's pretty quick.
But you're a little bit more wittier than her, I think. So I give it to you.
Okay, all right. I'll take that. I'll take that one. And what's your favorite childhood memory at the rink?
Do I go with one with mom? Because I know she's going to be watching this. So
yeah,
probably,
you better. I mean,
probably
two dads, and you got to give mom. Give her a little
probably go on public skate with mom on the Mondays. She would take me. She's the one that kind of taught me how to skate. So sorry about that one.
Well, is that the one where you tripped her and knocked her down? And
we're not putting that on. We're not putting that. That was
banged up her elbow and that, and then banged her head?
Yeah.
I think that's the one, yeah. Okay. Very good.
Back to it.
How many shots are you going to block tomorrow?
2. I'm going to block 2 shots. We're going to be in their end most of the night. So,
okay. How many shots are you going to take then?
How many shots I'm going to have 3 shots. I'm going to block 2.
And how many of those are going to end up in the net?
1 at least.
All right.
1, yeah.
Okay.
If not
That's
more,
like a little confidence going in. Let's go. It's time. It's time you do.
Yep.
Your favorite and least favorite part of having me on the trip?
Just getting to hang out with you, go out for dinner and the odd beer when the timing is right. Least favorite, probably having to sit beside you on the bus, so I don't get much room on there now.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay. Which dad is having the most fun on the trip?
Well, I think you're all having some fun.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that's a tough one, but I'm going to have to give it to everyone. Everyone's having fun, so it's good.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good trip.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure. And that's it.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Perfect.
All right,
Thanks
son.
for having me.
All right. Thanks for coming out.
Time for another break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, the dad's trip continues on to Dallas.
Zach Whitecloud with a wrist shot save. Rebound score! And Stevenson buries that one on the backhand. And the Golden Knights with the early lead in Dallas.
Keep it locked, right here on Nightlife. Welcome back to Nightlife. After a come-from-behind win against the St. Louis Blues, the Golden Knights and their dads look to keep things rolling in Dallas.
This is Cam on Cam with Joe Petro here. So what do you think of the father's trip?
Absolutely fantastic. Having a great time.
This is what it's all about, being with our sons, making great friendships. I love it.
And we eat every 4 hours whether we need it or not.
Exactly where I follow the rules, so that's the way it goes.
Vraiment de très beau moment. Merci beaucoup à l'organisation des Golden Knights. Merci beaucoup.
And I'm going to say I could not have said that better myself in English.
Oh, I know it.
All the dads are having a fantastic time here and pretty much living the dream.
Ready to drop the puck in Dallas. And underway, out high at Zach Whitecloud with a wrist shot save. Rebound score! And Stevenson buries that one.
Sign of more good things to come for Chandler. That's a big goal for him to do it with his dad here.
Chandler Stevenson ending a 20-game drought, his longest as a member of the VGK. Wide of the zone, Carrier out high at Whitecloud, shot, score! It's goals in back-to-back games for Zach Whitecloud. Eichel on the move with Barbashev, and Stone out high, and his shot blocked, second chance score! Mark Stone buried his own rebound! A happy man. Stone with a steal, trying to feed Waugh. Waugh towards the net, scores!
Great shot by Nick Waugh. That's Nick Waugh Sr.
And Paul Cotter with a little bit of room to the red line. Gains the Dallas zone, driving into the slot. Cotter with a chance, he missed it. Second bid score! Pavel Dorofeev.
Such a smart play by William Karlsson to set up Dorofeev. Backhand, no look pass.
Puck loose out high, McNabb to Cotter. Cotter with a backhand, and he scores! Paul Cotter from in tight. And the Golden Knights have put up a six-pack in Dallas.
Well, another one that needed it is the celebrations continue up in the suite.
And it's a 6-1 blowout win for the Golden Knights in Dallas.
Paul Cotter Jr., who do you think was more excited about that goal?
It's probably a pretty good mix. Yeah, I needed that one. It's been a while.
Well, I got to tell you, I saw a little something come off the fly and off his back there, so just so happy, so proud of him. Such a great weekend. Organization is top-notch, so it's been a blast.
To get one while he's in the building, it's pretty cool. So yeah, we got to start bringing these guys here a lot more often.
One final break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, place your bets. We spin the VGK Roulette wheel.
What's the craziest Christmas present you ever received? Gosher.
I was an only child. I got pretty much whatever I wanted.
Everything.
I got a pool table, I got a Huffy bike, I got a ping pong table, I got an air hockey table. I didn't have one of these crazy aunts that gave you like a can of cream corn.
Stay with us, right here on Scripps Sports. Welcome back to Nightlife. There's a lot to discuss in the world of VGK. The midway point of the season approaches. Both Christmas and the Winter Classic are around the corner. Name a better time than now to gather the roulette squad for another spin at the wheel.
Another roll of the wheel. Shane Noddy is our reigning champion, so he will go last off the start because, of course, he gets to sit back and think about the question and have the best answer. Gary, you will go first. As we approach the midway point of the season, what's one thing the VGK need in the lineup?
Well, they're first place in the NHL. You can make the argument they don't need anything, but I guess the question is, what do they need? Scoring. That's the one thing that they have depth on the blue line. They depth in net. My guess is scoring would be the one thing that you never have enough of.
David.
Yeah, similar. I mean, some of them play in their top 6 or their top 9, and you know what they've done in the past, right? You know, their depth on defense has been sorely tested here over the first third of the season. Has come through pretty well. So if they could get somebody to play in the top 6 or top 9, I think that would be preferable.
Shane, will you vary from those answers?
Absolutely. You're talking about a team that's first the way they've played. They've got depth in defense. They've got depth up front. The only thing they need is full health. That's the only thing missing from this team. This is a team that won the Stanley Cup, not far removed from what they had. And you don't want to mess with chemistry. There is a deep chemistry within this team, a bunch of guys that like each other. And sometimes you can ruffle the feathers if you try to do too much.
Point for Shane Noddy, just for being unique. Winter Classic is in a couple of weeks. What's the biggest adjustment to play a Winter Classic outdoor type scenario versus indoors? David.
Well, in my experience playing in the Winter Classics, at Slater Park in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, the ice is always suspect. Now, at Slater Park, you could fall through the ice. I don't think that's going to be a problem with the Winter Classic. But yeah, I think it's the elements. Make sure it doesn't melt. The ideal weather would be low 30s and kind of partly cloudy, but who knows where they'll get up in Seattle. Hopefully it's not rain, which happens every once in a while.
To me, it's you're layering. You don't want to be too hot. You got to figure out the right mix of what you're wearing underneath your equipment so that you're comfortable.
Shane.
I think the biggest thing is for them to simplify, right? You can't try to do too much on the ice. You can't try to be too fancy. The elements, depending on how they are, kind of dictate the type of game you're going to need to play.
I like Gary. He's got the layers going right now and bought right in, piggybacked off that. Well done. Dad's trip was last week. Which NHL city would you have liked to explore with your dad? Let's start with Shane.
I have explored with my dad, so that's good. I was fortunate enough to do one trip, but he's a country guy. He loves country music, so you have to go with Nashville. I think that's the one for most people, and for my dad, he would enjoy that. But I think he'd be happy to go anywhere to watch hockey.
David?
Yeah, if Paul Gosher could come back, he would go to Nashville. He was a fan of the old school country, though, like Willie Nelson.
Mine too, yeah.
Earl Haggard. Guys of that nature, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash.
George Jones.
So Nashville, but combination of the country music and wherever there was cold beer, he would be there.
Gary.
My dad is 90 and loves to read and loves history. I would like to take him to Boston and maybe get Dave or Shane they know the city a lot better than me, get them to show him around a little bit because it's, might be the most historic. And my old man likes to drink too. So there's a couple places that he wouldn't mind popping in and treating his thirst.
Gary, are you going on the trip with your dad, or are you just sending him with Shane and Dave?
No, I'll be along on the ride.
Yeah, my guided tour wouldn't be as good as Dave's, but at least it'd be free.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Last one here.
what's the craziest Christmas present you ever received? Gosher.
You know what's funny, man? I didn't get any crazy, I was an only child. I got pretty much whatever I wanted.
Everything.
I got a pool table, I got a Huffy bike, I got a ping pong table, I got an air hockey table. The only one that rings a bell is I one year got, you ever see these toy dogs? Not the real dogs, but the wind up toy dogs that did flips. I got one of those one year when I was 17. It wasn't like I was 6. So that was a little bit strange.
Lawless.
One year, this goes back to my dad liking to have a drink. One year, we got a hockey net for Christmas, and he couldn't put it together till we were already in bed, and then he'd had his allotment of rum and cokes by that time, and the mesh, they're hard to do in the best of times. You gotta get that mesh along the piping, and he made a complete mess of it.
More Christmases have been ruined by stringing the mesh on a hockey net than any other gift. Shane Knighty.
A tough one. I get spoiled because I'm always nice on the nice list. So I did have one relative that bought me a bunch of cat ornaments one year, and I was like, that's probably the craziest, strangest thing to receive.
What are the 2 sticks on the wall behind you? Bonus question.
Yeah, I've got to get those. That's a signed Ovechkin and Crosby.
The totals have come in. That was my way of stalling. Congratulations, Dave Gosher.
Thank you.
Win. Big comeback.
Seriously?
Win. Yeah.
Oh, no question. Thank you.
I like what he
Horrible.
did.
Yeah.
Well, he acknowledged that he's a silver spooner, that he's got everything in life. That's tough to do.
You know what only child syndrome is? Only child syndrome. OCS. Yeah. There you go.
There you go. Next time, Gary. Next time, buddy.
That's all the time for this week on Nightlife. Make sure to tune in next week for a special episode all about the 12 nights of giving. Until then, VGK faithful, stay warm, get that Christmas shopping done, and we'll see you next week right here on Nightlife.